Well, new at 11, prosecutors, defense attorneys, and a judge are now demanding answers after a man was detained by federal ICE agents in the middle of his trial last week. Attorneys for William Martel LeBron, they were in a Boston courtroom this morning. Now, LeBron appeared in court Thursday for the start of his jury trial. He's accused of giving false information on a license application. But Thursday, he was picked up by ICE agents. His attorneys are demanding he be allowed to appear again at his trial. Prosecutors say they were aware that ICE was interested in LeBron, but did not think he would be taken during the legal proceedings. Listen here when the judge became upset with the prosecution for not giving him more information.
We could be possibly violating federal law in that we may be hindering their lawful apprehension of the detainee.
I reject that. I reject that wholeheartedly. I reject that because you have an ethical obligation as an officer of the court. And I'll say it again, not an officer of ICE. You are an officer, and the ADAs are officers of the court. There's an ethical obligation to let this court know if there's a scintilla of evidence that the defendant will be removed from court.
So the Suffolk County DA did release a statement this morning saying in part any claim that we were aware of an attempt to prevent Mr. Martel LeBron from exercising his right to a trial is false. Federal authorities should not have detained him and interfered with our efforts to hold him accountable. All right, we're going to switch to some news across the nation here. Donald Trump, his administration will unveil its long-planned reciprocal tariffs this week. These tariffs are expected to include all nations, not just the ones with whom the United States has a trade imbalance. We also know separate tariffs on foreign-made vehicles and parts. Those are also taking effect as President Trump makes headlines over the weekend. Now, those headlines happened during an exclusive phone interview with NBC News. Donald Trump saying he is not joking about the possibility of running for a third term, something we know is expressly prohibited under the Constitution. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington.
President Trump returning to Washington for a busy week with his massive reciprocal tariff plan set to roll out on Wednesday against all trading partners.
You'd start with all countries.
Grabbing headlines first by not ruling out potentially seeking a constitutionally prohibited third term in office, telling NBC's Kristen Welker in an exclusive phone interview, quote, "I'm not joking," and that he thinks there would be methods to pursue it, later saying he's not looking at that.
We have a long way to go before we even think about it.
That as his billionaire advisor Elon Musk is raising legal questions for handing out million-dollar checks to two voters at a Wisconsin town hall where he campaigned for a conservative judge up for election tomorrow in the state's high-stakes